Hey everybody, welcome back to Gem Mint Collectibles. It's your boy Gem Mint, aka the Gempire Strikes Back, aka Gemini. We're here with another CGC Spotlight video. I like to go live and do these videos because I like to be able to share my screens, take a look at GPA, take a look at the CGC Census, and talk to people in the chat. Somebody just jumped in, Hazel Dan 1216. What up? What up? Anyway, Emad, what's up, brother? Yo, we got two high-grade copper modern keys in the Gempire today, and they're both kind of similar to each other in the sense that they fucking yo-yo back and forth in price. And we're going to take a look at GPA and see some of those trends, let you know when the best time to buy these books, when the best time to sell them, and just talk about them in general. Mark, yes, sir, I just started, brother. So as you can see, we're going to talk about The Walking Dead #1, CGC 9.8, White Pages, first appearance of Rick Grimes, first appearance of Shane, sets off the whole Walking Dead franchise, which leads to the television show. It's a pretty dope book, man. We're going to talk about the prices, and we'll talk about the census on that, as well as Amazing Spider-Man 300, also 9.8, White Pager. Huge book, man. First appearance of Venom, huge character, big cult following, one of my favorite characters, and just a dope ass book. It's an anniversary issue. It's a Todd McFarlane. It's got a lot going for it. Both books, well, we'll look at the census, but both books hard to get in high grade, especially ASM 300, man. You sub some raw, clean books, you're gonna get back 9.6s and 9.4s all the time. Don't ask me why. It's just a hard book to get in high grade. So I guess what we can do, I'm going to pull up the census. CGCcomics.com. I don't know how many people are in the chat. Y'all want to talk about Walking Dead #1 first or Amazing Spider-Man 300? How do I see who's in the chat? All right. Spidey. Nice, Spidey. All right, Paul. You know what? Then we're going to take a look at the census for Amazing Spider-Man first. So let me go ahead and share my screens with y'all. We'll move Walking Dead out of the way for now. We'll highlight Amazing Spider-Man. All right. How do I share screens on this shit? Oh, here we go. All right, your entire screen. That's fine. All right, so CGC Census, right? How do you access this shit? Okay, here's the title. Let's put Spider-Man. Search. All right, so let's look for Amazing Spider-Man by Marvel Comics. This looks like it's it. We got to go to issue 300, so we got to skip. All right, let's see here. Oh, I might have skipped. Oh, here we go. All right, Amazing Spider-Man 300, 1988, came out May of 1988. We'll click on that. So here goes the census for 9.8. You got 763 graded at a universal blue label 9.8, 4 qualified green labels, 204 signature series, and 4 restored for a total of 975. But we're really just going to look at this number right here. 763, 9.8's out there. So it's a good, decent amount, but I mean, look at the difference in 9.6. Excuse me, to 9.8. You got 2,165 9.6 and only 763 9.8. So that kind of shows you how hard it is to get it to come back 9.8. Many 9.6s have tried, right? So let me see where we at with the chat. If anyone's asking any questions or anything. Thank you, sir. Area 51. Yo, Alexander Cassidy, Hazel Dan, Raghav V, Taylor Alexander Cassidy, newsstand. Yeah, so the thing with the newsstands, the census doesn't differentiate. Is that how you say it? But as collectors, we know that the newsstands are harder to get. Newsstands just had a rougher life cycle, right? They've been out there on the spinner racks at 7-Eleven or in the newsstands in the streets of New York City. You know, them shits ain't bagged and boarded, right? Interestingly enough, The Walking Dead #1 also has a special thing with the Matures Reader label. We'll talk about that when we get to Walking Dead. Anyway, now we know how many are available on the census. Let's take a look at GPA. So if you wanted to buy this book, if you wanted to sell it, if you just wanted to know how to value it, to me, GPA is a must. I know people use Comics MV. I know Comics MV and his brother. I haven't talked to him in a minute. And from what I'm here, they've made a lot of enhancements to their app and everything. But I just use GPA. I'm a little bit of a dinosaur. Like you've seen in my last video, these are all the live auctions available now. Look, you don't even see 9.8s. Here goes a 9.8. Let's see how much they're trying to get for it. Usually more than what it's ever sold for. All right, so $2,050. But, you know, those are asking prices. You could ask whatever the hell you want for a book. Don't mean you're going to get it. This guy's got it up for $2,000. See no bids, but I'm going to show you why. So, like I said in the beginning of this video, both of these books yo-yo. And Venom is a book that has always been historically like $1,000 book. You know, if you look around the time when people were really buying comics, let's call it the movie hype era, right? You know, you got $1,000 back in 2004. When Spider-Man 3 was coming out, the Venom hype pushed it. Take a look at the next year after that shit came out and was declared the worst Spider-Man movie ever, which I'm a big fan of it, by the way. Prices dropped. Your high was only $849, but whatever. Look at this, 2012, a high of 700, a low of 500. And then what happens in 2017? We get the Tom Holland Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man in Civil War, and Venom gets a movie solicited, right, by Sony. Boom, you go up to a high sale of 2,500. I'll never forget when it hit 2,500. I think it must have been late last year, right? So let's look. Yeah, it was late last year because look, you got it 900, 2,500. I'm pretty sure that was like the next day. I could be wrong. It could be an outlier, but then boom, another 2,500, 2,300. I'm pretty sure that September was because I was out here in Texas when that happened. 2,500 again. So that's the high sale, 2,500. The low sale, 900. The only sale this year is 1,950. You can see the 90-day average is 1,810, which has gone down because the hype. These books sell off of hype. So as soon as that announcement came out, boom, you get a spike. Then shit starts to cool down a little bit, and then now we're seeing Tom Hardy promoting the shit out of this movie. He's really campaigning hard, and he's really turning me into a little bit of a believer, to be honest with you guys. When we see that first Venom trailer, I guarantee you're going to see Amazing Spider-Man 300 and 9.8 see another spike. Will it go higher than 2,500? I'm not really sure, but it'll definitely go back to that. So if you're in the market to buy an Amazing Spider-Man 300, you need to chill and relax and wait a little bit until after that movie comes out and the hype is done. That's your best time to buy. If you want to sell this book and you haven't sold it yet, when that first trailer comes out, put that bad boy up. You might could put it up for $3,000 or best offer and break GPA's record. Who's going to break it and make it 2,600? Anyway, you're averaging like 1,800 for what was historically $1,000 book. So not too bad for a very hard to come by book. Now, let me go back and see where's everybody at. Hold up. All right. So that's Amazing Spider-Man 300. First appearance of Venom. Your boy Eddie Brock. Now let's look at Walking Dead #1, 9.8. See, we got anything going in the chat? Prices will go back down. Hell yeah. So The biggest misconception with movies, I see the Venom news comes out, and I see people in the comments on Facebook saying, "Everybody better buy those those ASM 300s now." Man, that is the worst advice that you could ever get. That's the worst time to buy a book. The best time to buy this book is when the movie comes out, the hype dies out, the books will start becoming less desirable, supply and demand. The demand will go down, supply will go up, basic economics. And that's when you want to buy. Will it go back down to 1,000? Probably not. You might have to wait a long time for that. But you saw what happened after Spider-Man 3, and that book went down to 800 for a high sale, right? So that just goes to show you. Anybody got any questions on that ASM 300 before we move on to Walking Dead 1? I know this was like an impromptu live video, but this is really for the playback because I like to be able to share these screens and all that. All right. Let me share these screens again. So we look at this Walking Dead Dizzle. All right. Walking Dead #1 is a book that goes up and down with the seasons of the show. So when the seasons are over, right now, when we're on a downtime, that's going to be your best time to buy Walking Dead #1. When the show is about to come on and you get all this hype for the new season, did Glenn die? Did he not die? That shit starts becoming more desirable and the price starts to go up. So here's the census for Walking Dead #1. Came out in 2003 in October, same month as Halloween. How fitting. There are about the same amount of Walking Dead #1s graded at a 9.8, 772. There are 11 more 9.9s though, which is sick as hell. Both have no gem mint 10s. Can't be like your boy. But yeah, you got 12 qualified. Now, qualified green label could mean it has a signature that wasn't witnessed. So they give it a green label, and the label says, you know, Robert Kirkman signed a name on the cover, but it won't clarify that he's the one that signed it because it wasn't witnessed. So it won't get a yellow label, it'll get a green label. That's probably the main reason why you have 12 9.8s in this book. I doubt there was really any misprints or anything that caused the 9.8 green label. Got 145 signature series 9.8s. That's pretty impressive. For a total of 922. No restored. There's no need, right? It's pretty much a modern book. It's from 2003. Let me see if there's anything. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to do that. Anything in the comments, in the chat? What's the print number on Spidey 300? I don't know, man. I don't know what print run numbers, and I don't think that we ever really get a realistic print number. I mean, I remember when I used to like get into variants and shit. Thanks, Steven Oates. I'm not really sure the print run. Anyway, so not for nothing, this 0.5 Walking Dead #1, I remember that was a big sale too because it was all beat up like it actually went through the zombie apocalypse. First appearance of Rick Grimes, Shane Walsh, Morgan, and Dwayne Jones. I don't remember who Dwayne Jones is, and I'm up to date on Walking Dead and watched the show, but I don't know. Robert Kirkman's story, Tony Moore cover. Anyway, let's go to CGC Census. I mean GPA, my bad. I have Walking Dead, I think, as a quick link. So Walking Dead #1, 9.8. Let's look at them sales. How much can you buy a Walking Dead 9.8 for? Let's see. This dude wants $3 grand, no bids. This guy wants 3,500. What else? Let's just fuck around, right? This guy wants 2,800. So here we go. A lot of purple labels. So purple labels are bad, man. You don't want to see those purple labels go down, but we're on the downtime right now. We're off season. Once they start promoting that new season, you're going to start seeing them green labels and prices going back up. So when did this show come out? Well, I bet you it came out in 2012, right? Because look at these prices. This was an organically created key. Nobody knew it was going to take off like it took off. Nobody knew there was going to be a show. Nobody knew a zombie book was going to be big. So I'm guessing sometime in 2012, They announced this shit was coming out, and it started selling for $3 grand. Let's see if we can find a date. Maybe it was at the end of 2011. Probably sometime at the end of 2011. You're going from 500, 600, then you start going to 900, 800, and then next year 1,000, 1,100, 1,300, 1,400, 1,600. The thing about The Walking Dead is you have a huge fan base of like horror fans that got money, whatever. Sure, I want Walking Dead #1. Fuck it. What's the highest graded? 2000 and 2012. Anyway, I wonder if we can see when the show's season is during season or off season. The high sale ever is 4,500 last year. I bet you that was around the time when was Glenn gonna die? Was he not gonna die? Let's see. January 17th of last year. I don't remember when the season started and stopped, to be honest with y'all. Does anybody in the chat know? Let's see. Area 51, yeah. Area 51 says you should be able to have a witness at a con filmed on your phone, not get a CGC guy to come over and watch. I heard that's a pain in the ass to do. I've never had to deal with it personally. When the show ends, when do you think The Walking Dead will tank? Seems to fluctuate so much depending on seasons. Exactly what it does. I do like the comics. E. Mad at him. He said they're so good. Dwayne as Morgan's kid. Oh, okay. He was Morgan's kid. Taylor Alexander Cassidy. Oh, message retracted. What the hell? First 10 issues don't have a high print run. Yeah, low print run book. I don't know what it is. Michonne Ghost variant. What number is that? I mean, Michonne's first appearance is going to be the biggest Michonne book. I don't put a lot of stock in the variants because they're man-made collectibles. They're not like Walking Dead 1, which I called an organic collectible. It wasn't intended to be a collectible. It just is because the show took off, the series took off. Let me go back on this shit real quick. All right. Right. So honestly, I'm not a fan of variants. Most variants that you see come out, there's a lot of hype. It sells for a lot. And then look years later, check GPA, purple label central. You know what I mean? Nuclear powered turtle. First few seasons were great. It's kind of filler now, but comics are still decent. I totally agree. I'm ready to give up on the show. I'm so over it. I loved it in the beginning. I liked the middle when they were on the farm and you had the herds. That shit was tight, man. But All Out War does not translate good on screen. I think the storyline was cool in comics, but it's not. It hasn't translated well. Thank you, AG Surfer. So Taylor, yeah, you know what's funny? He says he feels like the only person who hasn't seen an episode of Walking Dead. Same with Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones. I watched and I'm up to date on Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, but Breaking Bad, I'm not like the big Breaking Bad fan. Like some of those filler episodes really turned me off, and I stopped watching it. Area 51 at Vancouver Fan Expo had Tony Moore sign a few of his battle. Was that Popes or is that supposed to be Pops? For nothing, but when I wanted the Walking Dead cover signing, I brought a CGC guy over, and now Tony wanted $15. He hit you with the $15, little man. Put that shit in my hand. That's just like Rob Liefeld, man. He'll sign a Deadpool pop for free, I bet. But if you try to get a New Mutants 98 with a CGC witness there, he's going to try to hit you for 100 or something like that. Michonne. Yeah, Michonne is a dope character, man. I liked her in the comics more than the show. I don't like the Michonne-Rick relationship. I thought that was crazy and out of nowhere. It doesn't seem right. It feels like weird. Well, that's the least. What's the least you think it'll go for when the show's over? I got mine in a drawer ungraded. I mean, it depends what your intention is. I mean, I don't know what the ratings are on the show, but even though a lot of us fans feel like the show sucks now, I think the ratings are higher and higher every season premiere and season finale. They premiere in October and end in April. So that big outlier sale was in January. Could have just been an outlier. Sometimes, like I said, you got some guy with money, doesn't really study the market too much and just buys it. Fuck it, right? You know what I mean? Or let me take that back. So this little mature readers label, can you see it? It's in white. There's a small print run of these books that has only the black text. So they'll call it the black mature labels, black mature label, right? So CGC doesn't identify that as a difference. GPA doesn't track it differently, but hardcore collectors will pay a premium for that black mature readers label. Chris Marchionda said, how much do you think it'll be worth in 20 years? I think it'll be worth closer to what it was worth when it came out. I think it'll eventually crash. I think the comic bubble that we're in now, it is a bubble. All markets have a bubble, and they all burst at one point. And there's a lot of shit going on that would cause it to burst. You know what I mean? The people can stop being interested in the show. People can stop being interested in comic book movies. I mean, every dog has his day. You know, Westerns had their thing. Fucking action movies had their thing. Now we're in comic movies. I think the only safe bets are the blue chip Marvel keys. First appearance of Spider-Man or Hulk or X-Men or Fantastic Four. And I still think they'll take a drop. Collectors say there's going to be a correction in the market, and shit will start going back down to where prices were prior to the movies, the MCU. And I'm a firm believer of that. To be honest, you know, nothing's going to just keep going up, and up forever. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, it's sad to say, but it's coming. Anyway, while you guys are here, we got 27 watching, 9 likes. Let's go ahead and hit that like button for your boy. Let me see this. So nuclear powered turtle. I got to approve anything that has cuss words in it. I don't give a fuck. The only thing that's carrying the show for me now is Andrew Morgan's portrayal of Rick. Fan-fucking-tastic acting. Yeah, but he has a lot of quotable, meme-worthy shit, too. Come on, Coral. Nah, I like Rick, though. The show lost me... Lee 772. The show lost me this season. Too much drama that gets dragged out. That whole season is dragged out with that all-out war shit. Yeah, AG Surfer backing me up. Classic characters have longer longevity. Walking Dead #1 is not an investment book. I'll tell you right now, not in my opinion. I wouldn't buy it at the high sale. Buy that shit off season. What were we looking at? What's the low sale last year compared to the high? The low sale was $2,200. The high was $4,500. So that's that off season and during season price difference. Where's the chat? Bring my ASM ones. I guess we can show the back of the covers. I like the back of Walking Dead #1 because it's the cover for Walking Dead #2, which I believe is the first appearance of fuck is the kid's name again? Rick's son. What's his name? Damn, I can't think of it. Carl. Oh yeah, I just said Coral. Taylor Alexander Cassidy picked up his first key last year. First Hobgoblin 9.6 newsstand. Super happy with it. That was one of my first Spider-Man keys. Like when I got back into the collecting game, probably in like 2010 or something like that. That was one of the covers that I was like, oh shit, first Hobgoblin, John Romita Sr. and Jr. cover. Love that cover, and I like that book a lot. Keeping Shane alive was the best thing the show did. Shane was dope too, man. Coral. My man said Larry. Hey, man, great. Oh, thanks for Paradox Nerd. Thanks. Good looking out. Said great job with the channel. Is there a bubble for statues? I mean, yeah, and I think we're seeing that too. Anyone in the chat in the statue game? I think Taylor Alexander Cassidy is. Man, Sideshow premium format pieces were like $300 in 2017, right? Now they're $700. You got XM Studios $1,000 pieces with $200 shipping. You got fucking a huge bubble, man. And not only do you have a huge bubble, you have multiple companies making $1,000 pieces. You have Prime One. I mean, how many 1/3 scale statues can you have in the crib, man? You got Prime One. You got XM. You got Sideshow. You got all these other smaller ones. Kodo Bokia. Fucking the custom game is crazy, you know? So, yeah, you could even see right now the bubble because XM pieces are not selling well on the aftermarket. You can't really get your money back. You're going to take a loss on almost every XM piece that you buy. Will it? Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, I think every market crashes. You know, nothing's going to keep going up, 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 up. until never ending. You flip those statues? No, I always take a loss on statues. So I'm new to the statue game. You know, when I was new to the comic collecting game, I took some losses, but I'm way up, you know, now. But I'll learn the statue game. The thing is, when you first get into a hobby, you buy everything up. And then you realize, like, shit, man, a lot of this is dreck. A lot of this is, you know, have a high ES. I'll never be able to sell it. And that's kind of where I'm at with statues. I got a lot of statues I probably shouldn't have bought, but I was all about filling up the room. Now I'm getting to the point of statues where I'm like, maybe it's time to sell some of these and only keep grail pieces, only keep customs and shit like that. So, damn, Sydney, XM Carnage I have paid off. I'm waiting for it to ship. I think it'll ship in February. And Moon Knight looks fucking dope, man. I didn't pull the trigger on it, and I've been staying away from XM pieces because it's like, dog, $1,200 a pop. Straight up. You're going to pay $1,200 every XM piece. And that shit just gets expensive, man. I would like all the Spider-Man villains, but you know, and actually I might start picking them up on the aftermarket, because on the aftermarket, you're going to start picking them shits up for $800 shipped, $750 shipped, stuff like that. Yeah, and my man, whoever is all zeros, statues are money pits at the start. Yeah, you're right. Until you smarten up, like I'm finally starting to do. But, you know, when you're in that new hobby, man, when you guys first get into comics, you're buying everything up. I remember buying low-grade Maximum Carnage slabs just because I was like, yo, I want mad CGC slabs on the wall in my man cave. You know what I mean? We sold some great PFs last year. Only Netflix stopped. Yeah, but Netflix is going to have some competition when the Disney streaming service comes into play. Also the lower, yeah, so Area 51, like that's why hardcore statue collectors, they care about the ES. What's the ES stand for? I mean, I know it's the number of them, but they want a low ES. They don't want that 4,500 Thanos on throne, but the exclusive at 750 makes it more collectible. Any CGC comics you regret getting? So there was a time in like 2014 where I had every like high grade first appearance in 9.8. I had Amazing Spider-Man 300, New Mutants 98, 87. I had every one. And I started getting nervous about the bubble. I'm like, fuck, man, if I don't sell these books now, what if I take losses at them later? What if people stop collecting CGC? So I actually got out of that game, and then I got into the omnibus and the statues and started collecting shit that I could read and, you know, getting into new things. So when I bought my first Amazing Fantasy 15, I kind of regretted it a few months later. That thrill of the hunt wore off, and it was just sitting there in the bookshelf, and it couldn't really do nothing with it. So that shit wore off, and I ended up selling it. So Lee 7, do I do podcasts? I want to figure out how to just get these shits on a podcast on like iTunes or Sirius Radio, XM Radio, or something like that. I'm gonna figure it out, but I don't listen to any podcasts. I'm not really familiar with that. I do listen to YouTube shit on the way to work, and that's actually all I watch. You know, at night I put on YouTube and I watch some statue reviewers. I watch some omnibus collection channels. The Spidey exclusive. Yeah, I got my first statue last year too. The Spidey exclusive. If you ever sell the Thing, let me know. My wife wants me to sell the Thing. I'm thinking about selling a lot of my Hulk statues and just keeping one Hulk, you know, because I have a lot of different Hulk statues. Gamma, what they do? Nah, it's a raffle book. Edition size. That's what ES stands for. That's right. How many people are in here from statue groups? I don't know. If you're here from a statue, let's do a fucking roll call. And if you're in here from IG, or if you're in, let me know where you're from. So I know we got a couple of different worlds are colliding. You're killing Independent George. Sydney, I have considered getting into Alien and Predator statues, but fuck, man, they have Grail pieces. There's a lot of pieces. I don't have really the room to get into that. I've been trying to stay away. I've been tempted to get that XM Studios 1/3 scale Predator. Been tempted for a lot of those pieces, man. Johnny BVO, he wanted to get in the statue game, but how expensive they are. Bane premium format. Yeah, and I don't even collect DC statues, man. I kept it to Marvel, and I was doing a pretty good job. Then I got into Pop Culture Shock, Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter pieces. Gamma's on YouTube and Instagram. Paradox Nerd, yo, right here is he's from the Statue Game. AG Surfer's YouTube, comic book, and IG. Taylor's from the Omnibus Group and the Statue Group. Paradox Nerds from the Collectorverse. Oh shit, what's going on, brother? I didn't realize. That boy Gamma, Statue, and CGC. Yeah, we got a good mix of people in here, man. That's what I like about the, bringing all my kind of different niches of the comic hobby together. Yeah, and a lot of people on Instagram, I do the comic raffles on Instagram, and that's kind of why I came over here to YouTube, because I'm kind of keeping that and this separate. A lot of people are into the raffle thing, and then some people hate it. Some people don't want to see fucking minis post up all day, every day. So, if you're a little bit of a gambler, you want to try to win these comics. That's what I do, man. That's what I do on the side. So that's on Instagram at gem_mint. But if you're not into that, that's what the YouTube's for, man. Do my comic talks, omnibus hauls, talk about some cool books, statues. What else? Oh, missing some shit now. Hold up. I'm near New Mexico, Lee 7. What's up, AG Surfer? How you clean those? Yeah, I mean, you know what I do, Chris? But I probably got to do a better job of doing it. You get a little makeup brush. And, sometimes I spend a lot of time in here, as you can imagine. So I take a little makeup brush, just dust them around. I see a lot of dudes actually put the statue in the middle of a table and like go all out. But ain't nobody got time for that. They do collect dust, yeah. A lot of people have the bestos with the glass doors, but I'm not really a fan of glass doors. I feel like you might as well have a picture frame. You know what I mean? Hazel's in comics and some statues. Oh, my man 000 found me just from random YouTube searches. That's dope, man. Pittsburgh. Well, I really wanted the roll call on what Facebook groups are you here from? Instagram? Are you here from statue groups, omnibus groups? Are you here from fucking whatever? What happened to your Ghost Rider Omni? I'm reading it right now. It's actually right there. That book, that black book that's on top of the Daredevil books. I'm reading that now, and I'm going to do a recent reads on it. Paradox Nerd. Yeah, I feel you, brother. NECA. So you know what, Area 51? NECA, NECA Donatello is almost, I think that's what got me into statues, bro. I got it, and I knew it was quarter scale, and I knew premium formats were quarter scale, and I was like, fuck it. And funny enough, the first piece I pre-ordered was Wolverine vs. Hulk maquette, which is not quarter scale. It's 1/5 scale, but it's still big as fuck. Sideshow Predator comic cat. That's the Wolf comic cat, Sydney, right? I think you could buy that. I thought that piece was like $3,500. That $8,000 fucking eBay sale is probably bullshit. Oh, I didn't know you guys followed me on the gram. Aren't you Collectorverse? Didn't you guys just do like a statue award thing or some shit like that? Y'all gotta holler at me, man. Yeah, Johnny Bevo. And I get a lot of shit because I'm very much a compulsive collector, but I do read the Omnis too. But with that being said, I think my read percentage is like 20%. You know what I mean? Like I try to read, and I try to do the recent reads to even give myself an incentive to read them. Yeah. So you're from YouTube. So Gabe, that's my man. He had me on his show a couple times. I got to get him on my show actually. Brandon, the highest these go for. So I mean, I think the high sale on this was like $4,500, which was a way out there outlier sale. The high sale on this was $2,500, but that's not what I would recommend to pay for them. Right now, this is like what did I say it was? Right now, this is like a $2,700 book, and Amazing Spider-Man 300 is like an $1,800 book, and 9.8. Yeah, Iron. Yeah, these are spontaneous. These CGC Spotlight videos, I do them live because I like to use the webcam, and I like to share screens. And I don't have a fucking computer to do video editing. This is my work laptop, so I just go live for this shit. How long have I been live anyway? Doesn't it tell me somewhere? I don't want to make this shit like 3 hours long, yo. I don't know. Live show still going down Sunday though. Saw me on Lords. Okay, cool. Yo, the IDW Artist Select are pretty cool. I think I have. You're talking about the artist editions, right? I have the Marvel covers 1 and 2. I never look at them, so I don't really want to buy them. Dead Man's a dope statue, man. Gray Hulk. I'm thinking of selling Gray Hulk. I'm thinking of selling Gray Hulk, Red Hulk, premium formats, and all 3 Hulk comic kits. And I'm thinking of selling Gladiator and King Hulk too, man, just so I can free up some space and diversify a little bit. Thank you, Sydney. I love doing the channel. Yeah, Emad, that's like me, man. I got into statues like a year ago or so. So that's what I did. I started searching YouTube. I found Cartel from Hell. I found Hero Collector Lou. I found Rad Titan. And I still watch all those shits. 34 minutes? All right, cool. Thank you. I sold my Walking Dead for 2,700 and I graded those, man. Yeah, that's the thing, though. It's going to be a tough sale. A raw book is never going to sell for near graded book prices. You got to get that third-party, unbiased opinion, you know? That Punisher statue is a good example of a hype statue that sells for less on the aftermarket. You could probably buy one right now for like $800 shipped. Gray Hulk is like 500 shipped for the exclusive, I think, or 550 maybe. Oh, the Sign series, the Artist Select. Nah, I don't want to pick up any new fucking habits and hobbies. You know, I'm kind of already neck deep in what I got. Cool, man. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, that Thanos on Throne, I knew it was going to be a hot video because the piece has got a lot of hype behind it. That Thanos on Throne, I almost got like 6,000 views on that shit. That's like my most viewed video so far. When's that one Venom piece got coming? I don't know. I got a couple. Well, the Venom, I got a custom Venom piece with it's like the Mark Bagley on the water tower Venom. That's supposed to ship this week. That's a custom. The Prime 1 Venom doesn't come out till like somewhere between April and June. Anti-Venom comes out from Prime 1 either February or March. And I have an Agent Venom custom coming out the 3rd quarter of this year. All right, y'all. Hey, man, a lot of good stuff in the chat. Appreciate you guys participating and making these videos fun for me. I'm going to wrap it up. Yeah, Mark, I'm more into the Marvel statues, but Batman Hush line is making me think about jumping into them DCs, man. And I like the old comic version, life-size bust of Superman and Batman. Yeah, so Johnny Bevo's asking, he knows I like Mortal Kombat. Do I like the Street Fighter pieces? I got the Akuma and Ryu life-size bust and the Akuma and Ryu 1/3 scales. I'm thinking about grabbing Chun-Li once she's closer to release because I love PCS, but I ain't trying to wait on a 2-year PO. So when Chun-Li comes out, I might grab her. But I'm not really interested in going into the quarter scale Street Fighter stuff. That Bagley Venom is by Salt and Pepper Studios, which is basically this factory in China who people use when they get customs commissioned and they want to sell like 40 pieces or whatever. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, Gamma. The only thing about me selling those Hulks is I don't want to be stuck with like 1 or 2 of them. Like if I sell those Hulks, I want to make sure they all get sold. I don't want to be stuck with just a Red Hulk comic kit. I don't know. I'm on the fence if I even want to sell them, bro. Yeah, Area. Cool, man. How's the binding on Deadpool and Co? I did a little omnibus haul about it. I didn't notice anything at the time, and I always stretched out the spines. Where's Iron? Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, guys, so hey, I'm trying to get on Immortalized in Stone tonight. I might be on there. I've been talking to one of the dudes on that show. I don't know if any of you guys watch that show. I know it's like a long live stream, but I might jump on that shit tonight. My live show is still going down Sunday night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. with Manimal, and TiVo is going to be on it. We're going to talk about the Annihilation storyline. I'll break out the Omni. Manimal got the singles. But yeah, man, if anyone in here is new, hit me with that subscribe, man. You can ask the dudes in the chat, man. I upload content regularly, different type of shit, statues, omnibus, CGC books, whatever. Thanks to is it Taylor, Alexander Cassidy. I like hanging out with you guys. Gamma, Talk Comics. Peace. Catch you guys later. Stay minty.